This is Jhenea Pratt, an East Hills woman under suspicion after her 18-month-old child died from drinking a fentanyl-filled Sippy Cup.
So what are you implying?
I'm asking. I'm just asking straight up how it got in there.
And I'm telling you straight up, I have no clue how it got in there.
No clue.
For a mother who just lost her baby, she showed little to no emotions during the interrogation. So, was it on purpose, or was it a big accident? Well, that's what we're about to find out as we take you through the cold case of Jhenea Pratt. On April 5th, 2018, at 6:07 p.m., officers responded to a radio call for a baby who wasn't breathing at 2237 East Hills Drive, apartment number 5. The officers reported finding Jhenea Pratt at the door in a frantic state, asking them to help her child, named Charlette Napper-Talley. But the first thing the officers noted as they rushed in to help was the odor of drugs. As they rushed into the living room, they found the 17-month-old unresponsive. At the hospital, the detectives tried to get word from the mother about the situation. But at a time when she should be either remorseful or heartbroken, she was described as quote-unquote hostile and combative by the detectives. This was a trait she carried even in her interrogation.
Where did she fall asleep in her bedroom?
She came and got up on the couch with me.
Mm-hmm. You guys took a nap?
We barely fell asleep. By the time I was actually, dozing off, Miss Vernon was knocking at the door.
Okay, and at that time you put her in her bedroom or left her on the couch?
At this time, I had picked her up because she was laying with me on the couch. I'm not sure if she was on top of me or beside me at that point.
Yeah.
I picked her up and I laid her on the couch. And I opened the door and I came to get her off the couch and I put her in her bed.
Okay. Did she eat or drink anything?
My boyfriend told me he made fish sticks and I want to say like French fries or something.
Okay. Now, that was earlier in the day when you guys got back. Did she eat or drink anything?
No, she didn't eat or drink anything. She had left her. He said she didn't want her sippy cup before they walked out the door to come and get me. So he left the sippy cup there.
Which sippy cup was that?
To my knowledge, it should have been the pink one.
The pink sippy cup?
Mm-hmm.
And where was that located?
I'm not even sure. I wasn't there.
Did he have that or did she have it?
It was left.
It was left there?
She didn't want it on the way out the door.
Okay. When you say on the way out the door, you mean?
When they left to come and get me from school.
Okay, when you came back, that pink sippy cup, do you remember
I
where
didn't
it
even
was?
see the sippy cup.
Did you give her the sippy cup at all?
I didn't see the sippy cup.
Okay. Do you remember it being in her bedroom, that sippy cup?
I think I might have found the sippy cup on the way to, I'm not sure. I just remember, I believe, putting the sippy cup in her bed with her.
Okay. Did you put anything in the sippy cup?
No, there was a red liquid in it, and I know we had Huggies.
Yeah, I remember seeing some Huggies in there.
To be more specific, Happy Drink Huggies.
Is that what they're called?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When the officers got the search warrant to her house, they found some adult nighttime cold max medicine, children's pain reliever, and 2 sippy cups. The pink one had fentanyl and was on her bed. So now the detectives need to know how it got in there.
Did you, when you were little, I'm just going to show you the picture. This is, is this the same sippy cup you're thinking of?
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you put liquid in there earlier in the day?
Yes.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was that the same sippy cup that you put the liquid in? Was it before you went to school, when you got home from school, or?
I put a different juice drink in there, and she had a complete fit, and she didn't drink it.
Okay.
So how the red liquid got in, he changed her sippy cup when he fed her.
Okay.
He said she drank a little bit, and threw it.
Okay. Out of that sippy cup.
Mhm.
Okay. When you lived at that address, did you get anything delivered in the mail from overseas?
I had just ordered her entire room from Walmart. I don't know if that came from overseas or not.
Well, Walmart won it. I'm saying, like, did you order anything that maybe that might not have, that might have been out of the ordinary? Any type of anything from a different country?
No, my mother purchased the baby gate that was in her room.
Okay.
I believe she purchased that from Walmart also.
There would be no reason like you would get any packages, say, from China or from Japan or anything like that?
Like directly from them?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay. But to your knowledge, you...
I ordered everything from Walmart.
Okay.
The he in this equation is her boyfriend, Albert Williams, who was also responsible for watching Charlotte that day. Both of them are set to be charged with endangering the welfare of the child. But William couldn't have been the one who put fentanyl in her sippy cup. We'll get to why that is later. For now, the detective is trying to find out what was in her house that had fentanyl, and who was responsible for making her sippy cup at the time of the incident.
So just to be clear, the stuff that was in that sippy cup, you did put in or you did not?
I did not.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any idea? Well, I'm just gonna be blunt to you. Your child died from fentanyl poisoning.
So why did CYF tell me hypoxic cardiac arrest?
There weren't lab results then. So I'm going to explain this to you, okay?
Whoa, wait a minute. She's just told for the first time the confirmed reason for her 18-month-old death, and she did not flinch. No voice strains, no emotions, nothing. The only reason we bring up her monotone and cold attitude right now is because she wasn't confirmed the cause of death all along. This should have come as a shock to her, but as you can see, she just brushes away from that detail and focuses on the inconsistency of information by the police.
In that sippy cup was fentanyl. In her blood was fentanyl we just got these results back. It's the same type of fentanyl that people are overdosing every day in Pittsburgh and dying from. Same exact type. Okay. So I need to know how the fentanyl got in the sippy cup. Because right now it's not an accident. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so scientifically, it's impossible for your daughter to put fentanyl in a sippy cup. Okay? Physically, it's impossible for her to do. Scientifically, that's another story. But right now, that's how she died. It wasn't a heart attack. It wasn't any other reason other than she overdosed on fentanyl, which is the same fentanyl that people in the streets are dying on every single day. How'd the fentanyl get in the sippy cup, Jhenea?
Just straight fentanyl?
Yeah.
So what is it, like a liquid,
I'm not a scientist. It comes in a liquid form, it comes in a powder form. I'm not exactly sure, but what I am sure of is that fentanyl was put in a sippy cup and there was liquid mixed into it and it was given to Charlotte and that's how she died. So I need to know how that got in there.
I have no knowledge to how fentanyl got in my daughter's sippy cup.
Okay. Because you realize right now this investigation is taking a whole different turn.
Yeah, clearly.
And when someone gives someone something and they die from it, it's a homicide.
Even the search of her house led to the discovery of drugs in her house, which somehow would have made it into her toddler's pink sippy cup. At this point, we can't tell if this should be treated as a homicide case or a manslaughter case.
She was poisoned intentionally.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I've been making complaints to my rent office because I've been smelling a funny smell in my house several times returning back to my house.
This is since you've moved, or
No, this is living in apartment number 5.
this is where you used to live? you're
Yes.
saying? Okay. Well, that still wouldn't explain how it got in the sippy cup.
Well, I'm just as clueless as you are. So are you implicating that I put fentanyl in my child's sippy cup?
No, but based on this timeline, I mean, there's only 2 people that could have put fentanyl in the sippy cup. Based on what you just told me about 10 minutes ago. And based on the whole timeline of that day. I need to know how it got in there, because this investigation is not going away.
Okay, and I'm telling you, I returned to my house from being picked up from school, and I did nothing out of the usual.
Okay.
We took our stuff off, and she ran around and played, and I'm waiting for my social worker to come.
Okay. Do you get fentanyl delivered from China?
I don't know anything about fentanyl.
Okay.
At this point, we have to commend the detective on deflecting immediately after she asked if she was being implicated. If he had implicated her, she would have remained silent, and the detective would not be able to piece together any more information to unravel the truth. There's also another inconsistency in her story to note. In the early parts of her interaction with the officer, she told the police that after she arrived home from attending classes at a community college, she put the child to bed and placed the sippy cup in the crib, the sippy cup which her boyfriend Williams gave her. And an hour later, she found her child not breathing. The reason why it can't be the boyfriend is that if the child had ingested the drugs earlier in the day while she was in the care of someone else, she would have died sooner.
Did you ever put anything in her sippy cup other than honey juice?
She's drank water, she's drank milk, she's drank Kool-Aid, liquids.
But have you ever put anything in there?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Other than,
I mean, because some parents will give their kids a little bit of, Benadryl or something like that, so they can...
no, that doesn't go in a sippy cup because it's supposed to be measured out, and Benadryl's not supposed to be drank. Tylenol's not supposed to be drank over specific amount of hours. It's supposed to be one dose, and that's it.
Right, I agree with you, but parents...
I'm not one of those people
Okay.
or parents.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. And it wouldn't be the first time, okay? I'm just asking. But we have a problem right now. Is that safe to say that there's a problem? I mean, I have to figure out how this got in there, because your baby can't tell me. Is there a reason someone would want to do that? Is there a reason why fentanyl would be in a sippy cup?
No, there's not. And no, there's not a reason anybody would want to.
With her arms crossed, she now takes a defensive stance, which means there's very little information to get out now. Also, the detectives tried using her daughter's death as a way to make her feel guilty or show emotion, but she's still monotone and sticking to her side of the story. Now let's imagine for a second that the fentanyl accidentally got in her sippy cup. If it's an accident, it would be in a small quantity, right? Because poisoning depends on the quantity of poison as well. That being said, in this next part, the detective will reveal the amount, and it will have us question whether this was accidental or intentional.
The amount of fentanyl that was in her system was extremely high. Okay? It was very high. And that's essentially when she drank the sippy cup. Whenever she picked that sippy cup off the bed, it was absorbed very quickly, and once she swallowed it, she didn't have much time to survive.
That's not possible because I didn't physically see her with her sippy cup, and we were at home. I was with her. I can't tell you the exact time frame, but when I got home, because I went to the welfare office a little bit as soon as I left school, there's no possible way.
The sippy cup I showed you that picture of, that's the sippy cup that had it in it. Okay. I'm going to step out for a little bit, let you think about this.
There's nothing to think about.
Okay, well, I need to step out anyway. All right. But that's why I brought you here, was to tell you exactly what happened and what we found. And, I mean, it wasn't really me, but it was, scientists and, people at the lab that discovered all this, medical examiners, doctors. Okay.
Okay, so am I under arrest?
No.
Are there any more questions?
I just want to know how it got in there. That's the big question.
I don't know how it got in there. This is news to me like it's news to you.
If you had to guess how it got in there, is there any way, any guess you could have?
A manufacturing issue with the Happy Drinks?
So you think it could have been the Huggy?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, I took a sip of those Huggies and it didn't really have a pleasing taste to it.
We tested the Huggies.
Mm.
No fentanyl.
So what are you implying?
I'm asking. I'm just asking straight up how it got in there.
And I'm telling you straight up, I have no clue how it got in
No
there.
clue. Is this something your boyfriend would have done?
He has kids of his own. Why would he hurt my child?
Well, there's. Did anyone else have access to the apartment?
Maintenance people, the people who run the place.
So other than the maintenance people and people that run the place, the only person that has access to it is you and Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Was any maintenance people in there recently?
I wouldn't know.
You want to know? Was anyone in your house that uses heroin?
I wouldn't know what people's personal drugs they use.
But to your knowledge,
No.
did you have any people in your house that use heroin?
No.
Do you use heroin?
No.
Does your boyfriend use heroin?
No.
Other than smoking weed, do you do any other drugs?
No.
All right.
Now, you might be wondering if this fact was made up, because detectives can lie in interrogation, but the reality is the amount of fentanyl in the sippy cup was, quote, enough to kill 2 horses, according to the prosecutors. Considering her attitude throughout this case and her inconsistent storyline, the detectives have no choice but to make her the prime suspect.
Well, it's my job to find out how this got in there. Okay, at this point. And this isn't going to go away. This investigation is not going away until I find out.
When you
Okay?
find out, you let me know.
I definitely will.
Any further questions?
You already told me she was acting fine. She wasn't sick. You guys got home, you take a nap, you fall asleep together on the couch. Social or the Urban League lady comes, you take her into her bedroom. She falls asleep in there, Urban lady leaves.
She was asleep before I put her
Oh, she
in
was still
bed.
asleep. She stayed asleep, Urban lady left. And you went to check on her, and that's when you found she was unresponsive. And there was the pink sippy cup on her bed. And you called 911. Police showed up first, and then the medics. Correct?
don't know who showed up first, honestly.
Okay. I really want to know why your baby had that large amount of fentanyl in her.
I would too.
I mean, it was enough to kill a very large animal.
There's no way my daughter could have got into any type of fentanyl.
I agree with you. I agree. I think someone, just like a bartender, mixes up a drink, put it in that sippy cup. It's the only possible way it could have got in there.
Is there any more questions, officer, detective?
Do you agree with me?
I'm not agreeing because who would do that to a child?
That's
There's
a
no possible way
really messed
that
up
could have
person. Really messed up person would do that.
There's no possible way.
Well, got in there somehow. And the amount of fentanyl she had could have killed probably 2 horses that was in her system. Okay.
Any more questions?
No.
Am I under arrest?
No.
Can I go?
Sure.
In the end, the detectives kept reminding her of the severe features of the case, which would make a normal mother break. But this woman is rock solid. Her trial took place in September of 2019, and she was charged with first-degree homicide, third-degree homicide, involuntary manslaughter, and endangering her child. However, she was found not guilty of first-degree and third-degree homicide, but considering her lack of emotions during such a critical case and that she did violate her duty of care, she was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter and endangerment of the welfare of her child. And if we're being honest with you, we think she dodged a bullet for being found not guilty of homicide. Otherwise, those charges would have put her away for life. And as always, thanks for watching.